Talking to my mirror like I love you so much. Curving on my critics like I heard you, so what? You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. Tally all the I ever gave on my head. Lately I've been living like I can't take a loss. They ain't wanna help me, that's what made me a boss. You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. We don't give a that's what they don't understand.
I'm back again like flu season. I broke records while loose leafing. I'm coming down my roof, leaving. Don't give a I don't care. Did the by my lonesome. No wonder now I'm on one. No shortcuts on that long run. All I really want is my share. Get him, I got him, I told him it's nothing. In the discussion, for them feelings, I throw all my pain on percussion. It's disgusting. I hear them bragging about that they did, and it do not move me, not in the least. They ain't been dropping no seeds in the soil, but swear that you on my spot at the feast. I've been on go mode, showboat, rowboat, wave ride. Cool shorty, too naughty, pool party, wet for the face ride. Annie up, penny down, hand me down, thrift store, old drip. New money, too funny, old shorty, talk about old. I'm on they now, can't get a pass now, I'm a cash cow, keeping it brash now. It's trash now, I'ma spaz out. I've been killing my lows and living on highs. You see in the sky's the proof. You could just see in my eyes that there is no lies. I cannot disguise the truth. I've been duck dog getting in my new merch, color duck sauce on the new couch with my Chucks on. Get the on with that hate. I'm big cool on the small chat, cause I know now that I'm all that. Got a hawk guy on the ball cat. Get the out of my face.
Talking to my mirror like I love you so much. Curving on my critics like I heard you, so what? You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. Tally all the I ever gave on my head. Lately I've been living like I can't take a loss. They ain't wanna help me, that's what made me a boss. You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. We don't give a that's what they don't understand.
Paradigm Shift TV 314. DMG the poet. The best. Trust me. Any type of knowledge you need, anything you want to see, check him out. Paradigm Shift TV 314. Peace.
Hey, look. Labels blowing up my line and got me missing calls. Told her you ain't gotta hit me till you licking. Feel like ZVF, baby, I be cooler than the mink weather. Make a Coke bottle, give me brain till I think better. Back up on my again, hanging out with Benjamin. Franklin got me stankin' in the Lincoln, talking dividends. Look at what we did again.
Hey, welcome to Paradigm Shift TV 314. This is your brother, DMG the poet, aka Brother P. Anki. And we got a powerful one for you, family. This is the semifinals. It is the Versus series. Shout out to my man JFaqz with that super chat. Check it out. Semifinals. This is the final four, the first of the final two debates. We got the Incredible Hulk of urban apologetics, Mr. Just the Facts, JFaqz versus the Bible Breaker, aka the Sauce, AOne. And the subject is the Bible morally bankrupt? As you know, each brother has two 10-minute rounds plus a 10-minute question period where they will get to question their opponent. With that being said, family, we are going to get into the proceedings after I do my usual greeting. Y'all know what it is. Let me say God bless to my Christian brothers and sisters, Hotep, to my Kemetic brothers and sisters, Shalom or Shalom to my Israelite brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum to my brothers and sisters in the NOI. Let me say Islam to my Moorish brothers and sisters, peace to my mans and them sisters in the nation of gods and earth, them 5%ers. Let me say what's up to all my atheist brothers and sisters. Salute to all my Abo brothers and sisters. Let me say what's up to all my Rasta brothers and sisters. Last and certainly not least, let me say Jumbo to all the rest of my brothers and sisters all throughout the African diaspora, be it here in the wilderness of the United States of America and beyond. Y'all know I say that greeting for one reason, and one reason only, is because if you're black, I fuck with you. And listen, I wanna stress this part. I want to stress this part. Shout out to my Benubian family. Shout out to Lord Benu in the building. I wanna stress this part. We can have unity without uniformity. We ain't all gotta think alike. You understand? Like I don't know if we really get that part. We ain't gotta think alike. You understand? We can have unity without uniformity, because our different ideologies should not keep us from uniting. And this is another important part, family. We can disagree without being disrespectfully disagreeable. Shout out to my man JFaqz and the Slim Reaper. Appreciate y'all. And with that being said, family, it's the Versus series, the Bible Breaker. You up first. Let me make sure I set my timer. Oh, and real fast, family, we got a nice one coming up for y'all this month. We got the Dream Team returning with the team debate against Captain K, coming back to the platform, and ISUPK St. Louis in a two-part conversation. We're going to give you more details on that in the coming week, but it's coming next month. The Dream Team versus ISUPK St. Louis. You heard it here first. Check it out. Our man, Sauce, aka the Bible Breaker, is going to start off with his 10 minutes. JFaqz is going to be waiting in the wings. Let's go. AOne, time to start when you start.
Is my screen sharing?
There we go.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
And hold on, let me make sure my camera right. Let me bring myself on the camera when I go.
And if I may, I just want to remind everybody that JFaqz is the first inaugural. I know that means the same thing. That was kind of redundant. Shout out to my man Leandre in the audience. I know that's what he was thinking when I said it. Why did he say first and inaugural? But anyway, JFaqz is the first ever social media champion. Y'all see the belt over his shoulder in that picture. First ever Paradigm Shift TV 314 social media champ. He is representing. So shout out to the brother for bringing home that belt in that hate match versus the one and only people's champ, Lord Benu. I just had to get that out right quick in case people forgot and they was wondering what that belt was. All right, AOne, time to start when you start.
Okay, let me pull up my presentation. If anybody wants to support me, you can go on Amazon.com and download my writing journal, Astral Projections Writing Journal. This is so you can document your dreams or astral projections or whatever. I'm gonna be taking notes.
Hey, drop that link in the private chat so I can put it in the chat, Chief.
Appreciate you. And you can also go to pvomiami.com and I have a section of political shirts. Go ahead and support that. Or you can hit up my Cash App. Now let's get into it.
Support this brother. Support this brother.
Appreciate y'all. And you can start my time now. I'm going to get into the flow of the argument. First, I will be going over the burden, then the fallacy. Then I'll bring forth the evidence, go over the history, and then I'll conclude. I am taking the affirmative in the debate. The affirmative team, also known as the proposition side, is responsible for supporting a resolution with convincing arguments. I'm going to set out some arguments. I'm going to answer yes to all the affirmative questions. I'm going to define some keywords, and I'm going to clearly state the counter argument, which I want the judge to endorse, and then I'm going to offer reasons to support it. Morally bankrupt. This was one of his questions for me, to define the terms, which is already my job, taking the affirmative. Having or acting as if having no morals. Okay, So what I want you to be aware of is the definition we're not using is this one. We are not using the definition completely lacking in a particular quality or value, okay? Again, he said he doesn't like the English people, so I went to his favorite dictionary, Merriam-Webster's, and this is what they give you. I'm using it in a sentence a couple times, just so that way you know how it goes. What these companies have done is both legally and morally bankrupt. The threat to incarcerate millions of people in the name of national security is both, I can't see that on my screen, is both bad, is both a bad policy and morally bankrupt. Okay? Okay. What is the Holy Bible? This is another question he had. I've already had it defined in the first round. I'm going to define it again in the second round so I don't get any points deducted. The Holy Bible is a sacred text in Christianity considered by believers to be the inspired word of God. It is a collection of religious writings that consist of two main parts, the Old Testament and the New Testament. Okay? Okay. Let's get into it. Next, let's get into the fallacy. Circular reasoning, whenever we get into topics of morality, me and JFaqz specifically, is the fallacy that he keeps using. Instead of offering evidence, the argument simply repeats the conclusion, rendering it logically incoherent. Okay? It's time for bed. Why? Because it's your bedtime. And this is an example of how the circular arguments go. My question to JFaqz at the face-off was, is something good because God commands it, or does God command it because it is good? He tried to sidestep the argument by inserting the word just. God commands it because it is just. Well, how do we know what is just? And as you see, the circular reasoning continues. The question that I asked him is called the U3-fro dilemma. I keep saying it funny. The U3-fro dilemma. And a dilemma is when you're caught in a rock and a hard place. No matter which one he picked, it was horrible for him. Let's get into it. Just, again, based on or behaving according to what is morally right or fair. So he tried to sidestep good by inserting just, but these two are essentially the same word, okay? That which is morally right. Just, behaving according to what is morally right. So what he does, he likes to get into these arguments of semantics, and I'm not going to play those with him today. God knew drowning every child still wouldn't solve his problems, but he did it anyway. Let's get into this. Tonight, I'm going to show and prove without a reasonable doubt the Bible is morally bankrupt. Humans in existence had systems of morality before the Bible, which JFaqz agrees with. My point of contention is that adding an all-powerful tyrant lawgiver adds nothing to our capacity to make moral decisions. Tonight, I'm going to show you that even without a tyrant sky daddy threatening you with eternal hellfire and torture, there is an innate empathetic sense that we use to reason about what's right and wrong in an objective way. And with all the evil deeds committed by the alleged God in the Bible, all the evil deeds he commanded others to do and condoned, that the Bible and the God of the Bible, both of them, morally bankrupt. Okay? Time. Can I get a time check?
5 minutes, 37 seconds.
This is my first round. We didn't have an intro round? There's no intro? Okay, I'll keep going now.
You know what? I should have did that. My bad. I just had y'all jump right into it. My bad.
Yeah, there's supposed to be an intro round. I believe. I could be wrong. Don't let me get to telling you how to run your show.
No, you're absolutely right. I thought you were doing your intro.
Yeah.
Okay, so I actually probably would have had 30 seconds left then, right? Or how long is the intro? 2 to 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, actually, okay, yeah, I'll use my 30 seconds. I don't want to yield any of my time. So let me get into it. I'm going to jump straight into slavery. I'm going to light sauce it. Genesis 9:25. If you guys want to take notes, I hope you guys brought a pen and pad today. You should be taking notes on everything I'm presenting. This really isn't even a debate. I'm here teaching today. And Genesis 9:25 says, and he said, cursed be Canaan. A servant of servants shall he be to his brothers. He also said, blessed be the Lord, God of Shem. May Canaan be the slave of Shem. Okay. Genesis 9:25. Many in the Christian church used as their justification for slavery, the so-called curse of Ham, which appears in the Hebrew scriptures. Many Christians at the time argued that Canaan had settled in Africa and that his descendants had become black. Okay. Time check? What's going on? I should only have 30 seconds.
No, I'm giving both of y'all 6 minutes since I screwed up. Keep going.
Okay, no problem. This will almost have you thinking. Next, I'll jump into Passover. Okay. Right here it says Exodus 12:29. At midnight, the Lord struck down all the firstborn of Egypt, because sometimes your resolve is best demonstrated by murdering innocent children.
That's time. That's time. I just stopped you. I'm gonna share my screen so y'all know where I had it on 10 minutes. So I want to share my screen so y'all know exactly where it stopped. Let me remove yours right quick.
Amazing.
And I'm gonna let you finish your thoughts, but I just want to make sure y'all know I'm not cheating nobody. So y'all see, I stopped it at 4 minutes. Go ahead, everyone, finish your thought.
I'll just read that little top sentence. This would almost have you thinking the Bible is against slavery. Pharaoh wanted to let the slaves go. Then this sociopath, the God of the Bible, hardens Pharaoh's heart, and he murders the firstborn child of everyone in Egypt. Hardening Pharaoh's heart, then intervening with Pharaoh's free will. Well, hardening Pharaoh's heart is intervening with Pharaoh's free will. So after he intervenes with this man's free will, he then murders him for what he does. Like, this is some sick, twisted game, and we're about to get into it. I'm about to break it all down. Go ahead.
All right, JFaqz, let me start it over at 6 minutes.
Appreciate you, King. Appreciate
I apologize to y'all for missing that intro. That is my bad. JFaqz, you now have 6 minutes. Time will start when you start.
Yeah, let me know when you can see my screen before I begin.
Give me 1 second.
Absolutely.
All right, I can see your screen. Let me add it. All right. It's on you.
Beautiful. Thank you. Firstly, it's Euthyphro. I just want to make sure I point that out because my opponent was having a hard time pronouncing it. The debate: is the Holy Bible morally bankrupt? A qualitative, quantitative, and definitive approach to understanding the morality of the Holy Bible in opposition to the notion that the sacred text is indeed morally bankrupt. This is from Thomas Jefferson. I ain't even going to it because I ain't got much time. I only got 6 minutes. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all already know who I am, so I won't introduce myself. We find ourselves gathered together again, not merely to debate the facts, but to combat untruth. Untruth that seeks to undergird facts that transcend culture, time, and the human frailty. To state it plainly, the truth of the matter is this: the Bible stands as an unwavering beacon of moral clarity and goodness, a foundation upon which civilizations have been built, hearts have been transformed, and lives have found purpose. Yet here we stand, confronted by an all too familiar tactic, a biased reductionist approach that seeks to label this sacred text as morally bankrupt. My opponent, who would have you believe that the Bible is filled with nothing but injustice and cruelty, he would cherry pick verses, distort context, and twist meanings to craft a narrative that suits his agenda. But let's not be swayed by such intellectual dishonesty. The truth, both quantitatively and qualitatively, is plain to see. The Bible is overwhelmingly moral, rooted in love, justice, and the intrinsic value of human life. How do we know this? First, let's be clear on this point. Divine command theory, which is kind of what my opponent was hinting at with the Euthyphro dilemma, while often invoked in discussions of biblical morality, is not the sole framework by which the Bible should be understood. It's not. It's just not. Yes, God's commands are central, but they don't exist in a vacuum. The scriptures are saturated with themes of value and justice, foundational principles that define what is right and good. From the call to love our neighbor as ourselves, to the prophetic cries for justice, from the mercy extended to the sinner to protection of the vulnerable, these are not arbitrary rules imposed by a distant deity. God forbid it. These are values deeply embedded in the heart of God, values that call us to live justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly. And this is precisely what my opponent will ignore. The overarching narrative of the Bible is one of redemptive love, the restoration of brokenness, and the elevation of what is good, true, and beautiful. He'll likely focus on the shadows and ignore the overwhelming light. He'll dissect specific passages while ignoring the grand sweeping theme of justice and righteousness that flows from Genesis to Revelation. So let's draw a line in the sand. This is not merely an academic exercise. In this presentation, I'll be using definitions, mathematical ratio, and scriptural data to further my point in order to present a defense of the very values that have shaped the best of human progress. The Bible's emphasis on the inherent dignity of each person, its relentless call for justice, and its unwavering stance against oppression and evil are not only evident but foundational. The critics who claim otherwise either misunderstand the text or deliberately misrepresent it to suit their own ends. Let me say this clearly. The morality of the Bible is not merely about obeying commands. It is about embodying values that transcend time. It is about justice. It is about love. It is about the sacred worth of each and every soul. This is what the Bible stands on. And this is what I will demonstrate to you today. So as we proceed, I invite you to set aside the cynicism and look beyond the distortions. See for yourself the undeniable truth that quantitatively and qualitatively, the Bible is a text that champions what is good, noble, and just. It does not simply command morality. It is moral. It is a guide, not just to obedience, but to flourishing, to living a life steeped in value, justice, and the profound reality of what it means to be truly human. Time check, if you don't mind.
2 minutes.
Beautiful. I got some vocabulary words and definitions here. I find it interesting that my opponent decided to go to the dictionary. Good, by definition, both in the Hebrew, Greek, as well as in Merriam-Webster, means not depreciated, rich, or valuable in estimation. Depreciated, of course, means to lower in honor and esteem, to lower in price or estimated value of, to fall in value. My opponent also talked about justice, and we'll get to that in a bit, but I want to go to the morally bankrupt definition, which I included every single definition that exists psychologically and according to Merriam-Webster. The state a person reaches when they trade away or violate too many of their core moral values and commitments, having or acting as if having no morals, And of course, evil is bad, of value, morally reprehensible, or inferior, archaic.
1 minute.
No problem. These are my biblical references. This is how I'm approaching this debate. My qualitative analysis and my quantitative analysis. The qualitative is subjective and often involves personal interpretations and insights. It may include observations, interviews, and narratives to capture the complexity and nuances of the subject, while the quantitative is objective. It involves counting, measuring, and analyzing data in numerical terms, pretty much just figuring out the how much. It aims to find patterns, relationships, or trends based on numerical evidence. The comparison, qualitative is what does it feel like? Quantitative is how many units were sold. And I'll yield my time.
All right, you had 18 seconds left. You don't want to do nothing with that?
I yield in peace.
All right, let me reset. We are going to go to the Bible breaker. Hope y'all are enjoying the festivities so far. That was the 5-minute opening, which I messed up. I apologize to the chat for my miscue. I apologize to AOne in particular for that. The Bible breaker is up. You have 10 minutes. Time to start when you start. Let me add your screen.
Yes, sir. Okay,
right.
I appreciate you for taking down that banner. It was covering some of those words. This is where I left off. Hold on 1 second. Okay.
Yeah, anytime that's happening, y'all, and I'm not paying attention, just call me out and I'll move.
Okay. And I'm about to start right now. I actually love JFaqz's definition, morally bankrupt. The state a person reaches when they trade away or violate too many of their moral values and commitments, having or acting as, the second one was what I had. And I'm going to show you how the Bible does just that. Let's get into it. Exodus. Oh, another thing he said, I was taking notes. He said the grand sweeping theme of justice and righteousness that sweep from Genesis to Revelation. I challenge the judges and the crowd to see if that statement stands up to my presentation. Let's go. Exodus 21, 1-3. Now these are the judgments which thou shalt set before them. If thou buy a Hebrew servant 6 years he shall serve, and in the 7th he shall go out free for nothing. Okay, I think they thought that letting them go after 7 years was progressive at the time, but I'm not impressed. And you're going to hear me say that quite often through this. Exodus 21, if his master have given him a wife, okay, I'm not even going to go through all of these because we already get the point that the Bible, the Old Testament endorses slavery, okay? Okay, now let's get into this slide. At the face-off, DMG asked a question. He said Judaism regulated slavery, but Christianity ain't Judaism. Does Christianity condone slavery? That's the question. And I'm glad you asked that question. It's an amazing question. And I think it's one that the audience and the judges would love to see me answer. Jesus did nothing to correct the moral errors of the Old Testament, okay? Jesus chases money lenders out of the temple, advocating for violence. I don't see anything impressive there. I don't see anything divine. I don't see anything godly. When Jesus in the Bible comes, he just throws out a couple of the Old Testament laws, but does nothing to correct sexism, instructions to slaughter and commit genocide on mass groups of people. He never condemns land theft, slavery, amongst a host of other things, okay? The fact that Christians try to make this distinction shows that they recognize how bad God was in the past. You feel me? And they try to separate themselves from that. But if they recognize this shit, and my question is why? Why is there a problem? You know what I'm saying? Why are you trying to separate yourselves from that? Did God change? Did the rules change? Did God's character change between the two testaments? I need answers. You feel me? Why are y'all trying to separate yourselves from that? If God don't change and that's y'all God, what's the problem? Okay, let's get into it though. These next verses are New Testament scriptures that endorse slavery. Actually, this was Matthew 21:12. You can look that up. This is where Jesus encourages his followers to go steal a donkey. Let's keep it moving though. Ephesians 6:5-6. Slaves, obey your earthly masters with fear and trembling, in singleness of heart, as you obey Christ, not only while being watched and in order to please them, but as slaves of Christ, do the will of God from the heart. Okay. Colossians 3:22. Slaves, obey in all things your masters according to the flesh. What? I'm not me, brother. Maybe one of y'all, not me, brother. Let's keep it moving. And for anybody who's saying all this stuff was put in by the white, by the Europeans, by the colonizers, no, because this is supposed to be God's word, untouched with, untampered. You know what I'm saying? And now y'all saying that people are inserting stuff. Well, we got to review everything then, if that's what y'all gonna say. But that's not what y'all want us to do. Y'all use that excuse when it's convenient, and I hope he doesn't try to pull a fast one on y'all and say that. Okay, Timothy 6:1-2. Let all who are under the yoke of slavery regard their masters as worthy of all honor, so that the name of God and the teaching may not be blasphemed. Those who have believing masters must not be disrespectful to them on the ground that they are members of the church. So if your master's a Christian, hey, you better pay it. You better follow. And this is but the Bible says head ass niggas. You feel me? What are y'all gonna do with this? How do you reconcile this? I want y'all to think about this when y'all go to sleep at night. You feel me? For real, because this is morally bankrupt and it's logically absurd. Let's keep it moving. Titus 9:10. I'm not even about to go through all of these. I'm gonna keep it moving. Luke 12:47. The servant who knows his master's will and does not get ready or does not do what his master wants will be beaten with many blows. This is Luke, okay? And I ain't talking about the one in Miami that got him popping, you know what I'm saying, on the handstand. This is, the one that y'all look up to, okay? Peter, slaves, accept the authority of your masters with all difference. I don't want to stick too long on slavery because we got way more stuff to get into. God answers all prayers, but during slavery, the answer was definitely no. You feel me? And we see why. I got some questions for JFaqz about this. We're going to get into that later. Has your religion apologized to women for promoting sexism, rape, and misogyny? Is Jesus against women's rights? Although the Bible includes great wisdom and has been a positive source of guidance throughout the centuries, it also has passages that have been responsible for the subjugation and degradation of women. Over the centuries, the biblical views have been absorbed into the fabric of our culture as nothing less than the Word of God. Consider the impact of the following sample Bible verses, okay? Yeah, and this is from an old presentation I did, Feminism Foreign to Africa, actually. Deuteronomy 22:28. Again, I hope you brought your pen and pad and you taking notes. Suppose a man is caught raping a young woman who is not engaged. He is to pay her father, the bride,
4 minutes, AOne. 4
price
minutes.
of 50 pieces of silver. And she is to become his wife because he forced her to have intercourse with him. So I get, if you take the pussy, I guess you get to keep the pussy back then. And excuse my language, I'm gonna figure out a better way to phrase it later on in the debate. But that's what it seems like. And this is not something that resonates with my soul. I don't know about you guys in the crowd. I don't know about, my opponent on the other side, but this is not something that I'm ever going to rock with. You feel me? And he could try to say, oh, that was back then. It was a different time back then, but it's the same guy, right? You know what I'm saying? When did his morals change? When did he get his moral upgrade? And we're going to get into that as well. Deuteronomy 21:10. When the Lord your God gives you victory in a battle and you take prisoners, you may see among them a beautiful woman that you like and want to marry. Take her to your home where she will shave her head, cut her fingernails, and change her clothes. Okay. This is almost like, let me finish reading it, then I'll tell you what it's like. She is to stay in your home and mourn her parents for a month. So you can let her cry, wail, do whatever for 30 days. You know what I'm saying? Let her get it out of her system, pretty much. After that, you may marry her. Forget if she wants it. You know what I'm saying? None of that in there. No instructions on asking her what her will may be. Forget her free will. Later, if you no longer want her, you are to let her go free since you forced her to have intercourse with you. You cannot treat her as a slave, okay? You cannot treat her as a slave and sell her. And again, they probably thought this was progressive at the time, but I'm not impressed. I'm simply not. This book is endorsing things that we would go to war about if it were to happen to anyone in our family. And I have a problem with that. A major point of moral contention for readers of the Bible is the commands about annihilating entire people groups. When we read about the flood in the Bible, we are witnessing an all-knowing God getting upset about sin that he created. Something he knew was going to happen.
2 minutes, AOne. 2 minutes.
Something he knew was going to happen, and he could have prevented. So his reaction is logically absurd if he's supposed to be all-knowing, okay? When we read about God commanding the Israelite soldiers to kill men, women, and children, we see him choose violence through the hands of another instead of finding a peaceful way to reach his creations about moral empathy. With the flood, it is God who is directly killing people. In the case of the Old Testament military conquest, it is humans who are told to take up the sword, proving God is a homicidal sociopath and morally bankrupt. Okay? And picking up the book, you would think Satan's supposed to be the bad guy. But when you get to read, and this guy, the one killing everybody, every time he gets jealous, every time he gets upset. DMG, I'm upset that I didn't bring up that scripture about the little kids making fun of the bald man, and he sent the bears to rip him up. You know what I'm saying? Because I know you bald head gang in the building, not me, but you know what I'm saying? I know you part of the team. But every time I think about that scripture now, I think about you. You feel me? I'm like, dang, what if they was making
1 minute, AOne. 1 minute.
All right, let me keep it going. More morally bankrupt stuff where they're giving a, let me not say it like that. Right after receiving the commandments, thou shalt not kill, Moses goes down the mountain and kills the people for worshiping a golden calf. It's like, it's just hard to take this Bible seriously at this point. God is supposed to be out. Is Moses outside of morality as well? I know it's going to be my opponent's point that, well, God's outside of morality. He's not bound by these laws. Well, what about Moses? Moses went down and did all of that. God's got people handling his beefs for him. This guy's like a mob boss for real. Like, and this is why I just can't subscribe to any of this. I would go worship Buddha before this. Give me something nonviolent. This is ridiculous. Notice that the first one is thou shalt have no other gods before me. I guess that was more important than thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, or thou shalt not bear false witness.
That's time.
Appreciate you.
AOne, the sauce, ladies and gentlemen, coming with the jokes. He basically saying that them little kids would have been making fun of my bald head behind. I'm going to say this to him, though.
Shame.
I like that soundbite.
Now, you know, in all seriousness, no. Shout out to you for a powerful round. We got JFaqz, Mr. JFaqz, up next with his 10 minutes. Let me reset my timer. Time is reset. Let me unshare the Bible Breaker screen. JFaqz, it's on you. Let me know if you got something you want me to share.
Yeah, let me go ahead and present my screen, King. I got you. There it is. Let me know when you got it.
Right, give me 1 second.
Sure thing.
All right, time to start when you start.
Okay. I'm not sure what my opponent seems to think the debate is. The topic of the debate is the Bible morally bankrupt? And it seems as though my opponent has an issue with God being morally bankrupt, as if he has the ability to gauge such a thing. But nonetheless, he talked about everything but the actual Holy Bible itself. He mentioned some scriptures. He gave no quantifiable data to support his claim to affirm that the Bible in and of itself is morally bankrupt. He attempted to preface my argument as if he know exactly how I'm approaching this. Obviously, he used scriptures out of context, and he's just saying that the Bible is morally bankrupt without actually quantifying it. Outside of the fact that he looks at things in the Bible through his lens of modernity, I'm going to answer his first question here that he gave. Name 7 things society has done to reverse the moral injustices that the Bible promotes. In most cases, societal changes being made were not directly opposing the Bible, nor was going against the Bible the purpose of the societal change. Their primary aim was to secure rights, justice, and equality. However, there were occasions where certain interpretations of the Bible were used to justify the very injustices they were fighting against. For example, abolitionists fought against slavery, not because they opposed the Bible, but because they believed in human freedom and dignity. In fact, many abolitionists used biblical principles of justice, equality, and the inherent worth of all people to support their cause. There goes your first question, A1. But let's analyze his claim. As you already know in C, my opponent seeks to argue that the Bible is morally bankrupt. However, such an argument is wholly imbalanced as it hyper-focuses on negativity while ignoring the broader context, the cultural alignment and understanding, and the overwhelming positive teachings that the Bible offers. Not only that, definitively, the Bible cannot be morally bankrupt considering sheer quantity alone. And I'm going to show that to you in a bit. Nonetheless, I don't deny that there's challenging and controversial content within the Holy Bible, especially when you view it through the lens of our modern perspectives. However, that content is not the primary or even more weighty in quantity than the morality of the text as a whole. So let's go over a bit of the potentially immoral things that many who discuss this topic in opposition of the text often refer to or present in debate, much like my opponent did. They point to violent passages in the conquest of Canaan. He actually literally went to Canaan and talks about Canaan, or commands related to warfare. They point to Old Testament laws that condone practices like slavery or highlight harsh punishments. They argue that doctrines like hell and eternal punishment are incompatible with modern moral sensibilities and present an ethically troubling concept. They emphasize passages that seem to support rigid gender roles or hierarchies and argue that they're going to perpetuate inequality. Now, I admit that these points have validity. They're valid and are almost always focused on in these debates. However, an argument focused only on these aspects is incomplete and imbalanced. Why? The argument dwells exclusively on the morally difficult passages, overlooking the larger moral vision of the Bible itself, the entire Bible. Teachings on love, justice, compassion, and forgiveness, central themes in both testaments, I might add, not just in the New Testament, Old and New, are substantial and widespread. Ignoring these positive aspects is intellectually dishonest. Many of the challenging passages need to be understood in their historical and cultural context. Some commands that seem harsh today were designed to limit greater harm in ancient societies, and much of the violence described in the Old Testament is descriptive, not prescriptive, meaning it's saying what happened. It's not saying what should happen. I hope you understand that. The Bible's overarching narrative is one of redemption, reconciliation, and the transformation of human relationships through love. The teachings of Jesus, particularly in the New Testament, provide a powerful ethical framework that has influenced countless moral codes and societies. The Bible presents a moral journey where earlier practices and laws are gradually replaced with a more comprehensive vision of justice, mercy, and love. Focusing only on earlier laws without considering the ethical trajectory leads to a very skewed perspective, as you can see my opponent is suffering from. So, an argument that claims that the Bible is morally bankrupt can be made, but it is 100% imbalanced if it focuses narrowly on negative content while disregarding the positive. Transformative teachings that form the foundation of the Bible's moral framework. A balanced analysis reveals that while the Bible has challenging content, it's far from being morally bankrupt overall. Its moral positives, especially in the New Testament, provide a robust foundation that stood the test of time. So, that then leaves us with a new question that needs to be answered. What's the moral weight of the Bible as a
5 minutes? 5 minutes.
Thank you. What I love most about this question is that it allows for me to answer the original topic of the debate, refute the claims of my opponent, and provide a framework for my position in this debate that the title of me being a Christian just doesn't encompass. So I decided to take a balanced mathematical approach, removing any doctrinal breakdowns I may have that could explain away the immorality within the Bible. Remove the subjective and focus on the objective. My analysis, using the power of AI and through the lens of modern perspectives, divided the Bible into two main sections, the Old Testament and the New Testament. Each section was then examined separately for morally positive, neutral, and negative content. I then took the results from both halves and combined them to provide an overall assessment of the Bible's moral stance. I call it the quantitative approach. After all, men lie, AOne lies, but numbers don't. Here's what I came up with. The Old Testament. Morally positive teachings come in at 35%. God, that's paltry. This includes teachings on justice, compassion, and righteousness, such as the calls to care for the poor and uphold fairness. Neutral or ambiguous content comes in at a very paltry 20%. This covers genealogy, ceremonial laws, and historical accounts that don't relate to moral decisions or actions. And then in comes the morally negative teachings with a heavy 45%. This category includes endorsements of violence, slavery, and subjugation of people groups, and other ethically questionable practices. The New Testament. Morally positive teaching come in at a knockout of a 60%. Emphasizes love, forgiveness, and compassion, including teachings such as the Golden Rule and the call to love one's neighbor. Neutral or ambiguous content come in at a paltry 20%. This includes parables, doctrinal content, and historical narratives that do not directly impact moral judgments. Morally negative teachings come in at a very paltry 20%. Concepts such as eternal damnation, exclusionary salvation, and hierarchical social structures fall into this category. The combined analysis comes in at a 50-20-30. Positive, the Bible as a whole, the Bible as a whole comes in at 50% morally positive, 20% neutral and ambiguous, and 30% negative if we're looking at this through our modern lenses. As you can see, the quantification shows that while the Bible contains significant morally negative content, it's balanced out by a substantial amount of positive teachings, especially within the New Testament. Overall, this analysis concludes that the Bible, though not without its moral flaws, is primarily moral when viewed holistically across both testaments. The key takeaway is that a fair and balanced examination must consider both the uplifting and troubling content equally, unlike what my opponent has done.
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Absolutely. Allowing for a nuanced understanding that neither dismisses the positive aspects nor ignores the negative. However, from a mathematical position, quantifying the Bible's morality, the Holy Bible is not morally bankrupt, as my opponent suggests. Numbers don't lie. Moral bankruptcy refers to the state where ethical principles are abandoned and self-interest reigns unchecked. A morally bankrupt individual or entity consistently disregards what's good and right, consciously choosing the path of evil despite knowing better. Such a state is marked by several key characteristics: consistent in moral behavior, conscious rejection of right and wrong, lack of conscience and empathy, that's a huge one, and rationalization of unethical behavior. When applied to a text like the Bible, it begs the question: does the Holy Bible in its entirety promote such a morally bankrupt framework, or does it stand as a beacon of moral truth against human error and sin? My stance is that it's the latter, and I'm pretty confident that you
1 minute.
Now, I just pointed out, just using math, quantifiably, that my opponent is wrong. Quantifiably, that's objective. You cannot argue, excuse me, don't want to go there. You cannot argue quantifiably, mathematically, that the Bible is morally bankrupt. You can't. It's impossible. You'd have to, much like what my opponent has done so far, ignore everything else in the text itself. And here are some really good references concerning good things that the Bible talks about. And these are just commands, but we're going to get further into this later. I yield the rest of my time.
All right. That was JFaqz with his first round. Shout out to Mr. Facts. Two powerful first rounds from two powerful brothers. We are going back over to the Bible Breaker, aka the Sauce, AOne. This is the rebuttal round. You have 10 minutes. Time will start when you start. Should I share your screen?
I have a question.
Go for it.
When do I address him not answering my questions? And do I give them answers to that question in my round that he didn't do? Or
I mean, you could address it whenever you want.
I just want to state for the record, my question was for him to name 7 things that that society has had to undo, several moral injustices that the Bible promotes that society has had to undo. He gave you 1. It was a setup question for him to sink himself and name a bunch of, but he didn't even do it. But I didn't expect him to as well. But I just want that to be stated for the judges so that way his points can be deducted for not answering that question.
Oh, stop it. I answered the question. You don't like the answer. Stop it.
My question was specifically list 7 because I know Chat GPT gives you 6.
Stop.
So I wanted you to actually. I didn't use Chat GPT.
Okay. Listen. This on AOne. AOne. Do I need to share the screen or?
Yep. Let me share my screen.
Trying to appeal to the judges.
No, I just wanted to state it for the record because I know there's a scorecard going on, and I don't want.
I think better.
I think if I don't speak up now, I may forget cooking you over here because you just sunk yourself. You did everything I wanted you to do. Everything.
Time to start when you start.
Okay, started right now. Everybody, he fell for the jab. He fell for me coming out here talking about slavery. Took the bait. Okay, I told him name 7 things the government has done to reverse the moral injustices promoted by the Bible. Okay, 1, the abolition of slavery. 2, granting women equal rights. 3, legalization of divorce. 4, criminalization of marital rape. 5, decriminalization of homosexuality. Okay, sources down there at the bottom. Screenshot that. Let's get into it. He wants to. What was the word he used? Quantitative and qualitative. Okay. First, what he says is the Bible ain't morally bankrupt, right? Then he goes and says, you know what? It's only 30% morally bankrupt. You feel me? How morally bankrupt does it have to be for you to throw it out is my question, sir. How many people have to be killed behind this book? How many bombs have to be dropped on babies behind this book for you to start questioning this? There's a war in the Middle East going on right now because these people think they entitled to some land named Israel when Jacob wrestled the angel and was named Israel. How the land got the name, that's a whole nother topic. But why they killing people about it is absurd. It's absurd. Like we witnessing this stuff in real time. So don't act like I'm tripping. You want more numbers? You want quantitative and qualitative? I gave you the kill count. When you open this book, you're supposed to think Satan is the bad guy. But every page I turn, God jealous about something. He mad, he messing up. The whole book is him continuing to mess up and killing everybody trying to reset it. It's like, oh man, I messed up again. They ain't acting right. Flood them this time. Oh, they not listening. Kill them all. Like, what's going on? What's going on? This guy is like a brat playing with some toys. And he needs a timeout. Let's keep it moving. Yeah, he didn't answer that question. He only gave, this is right here, the screenshot. He only gave you 1. And then he tried to hit you with this light sauce paragraph to try to make it subtle. Like, well, you know, They weren't fighting the Bible. They were fighting slavery. Well, I just showed you the Bible promoted slavery. See what I'm saying? His logic. He can't keep up. That's why I knew this wasn't even about to be a debate. This is just about to be me teaching. Let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. Again, how morally bankrupt does the Bible have to be for you to throw it out? Again, I told you the definition we're using. It doesn't have to be completely lacking. It just has to act as if it has no morals. And half the time, that's what we see. Let's keep it moving. The golden rule. Confucius had this rule out thousands of years before a Bible. Okay? Treat people how you want to be treated. And again, you see this rule in ancient Egypt. You see it in ancient India. Oops, I don't know how that picture got up there. Sorry about that. I don't know how that got up there. Let's keep it moving. The God of the Bible does not support freedom of religion, something we consider moral today. This shows morality does not come from God or the Bible. Then he tried to make the claim that I don't know what the debate is about, that I have a problem with God, and the debate is about, is the Bible morally bankrupt? Well, isn't the Bible supposed to be the inspired word of God? Let's stop playing the semantics and let's stop playing the games. You're not about to separate the two. You're not going to do that. Okay? Then Moses stood in the gate of the camp. This is Exodus 32:26. Then Moses stood in the gate of the camp and said, who is on the Lord's side? Let him come unto me. And all the sons of Levi gathered themselves together unto him. And he said unto them, thou saith the Lord God of Israel, put every man his sword by his side, and go in and out from gate to gate throughout the camp, and slay every man his brother, and every man his companion, and every man his neighbor. This is genocide. Okay? And again, the same things we see happening in the Bible are the same things we see going on in the Middle East right now. I got a problem with it right now. I got a problem with it here. And I see where these people are getting their concepts from. It's not a mystery, okay? So when we act like we can't put two and two together to figure out how to stop the violence and save some babies, y'all getting on my nerves. And I'm not about to play games with y'all. I'm about to get real aggressive. Let's keep it moving. Deuteronomy 21:16. But of the cities of these people, which of the Lord your God gives you as an inheritance, you shall let nothing that breathes remain alive, but you shall utterly destroy them. The Hittite and the Amorite and the Canaanite and the Prezite and the rest of them. Kill all your neighbors because they don't think like you. You the chosen people. Forget them. This is what God is telling people to do. And this sentiment carries over today. Y'all identify with these people and y'all think y'all are these people. Wait till we get to the question and answer round, brother. I'm on your neck. Adolf Hitler. Today, I believe that I am acting in accordance with the will of the Almighty Creator by defending myself.
5 minutes, AOne. 5 minutes.
I am fighting for the work of the Lord. Again, you see how, like, it's not a mystery. And they try to paint him as an atheist. Again, he's not. And I'm sorry. He was given qualitative and quantitative. I didn't give you this. Christian serial killers who get their moral code from the Bible. When speaking truth to people, when speaking the truth, people's feelings should be the last of your concerns. And as you see, I don't care how y'all feel about what I'm saying, because I know I'm right. Let's keep it moving. As you see this list, screenshot this and look these people up. The people who are in green are the people who are almost an atheist. You have one atheist down here. These are the American serial killers. Look this up. You want qualitative, you want quantitative, you want numbers, you want to see it in real time. Because these people are picking this book up today and acting like it's a source of moral code. And I see why everything is messed up. And I saw a comment, David Chandler, shout out David Chandler, very smart brother, somebody who I go to when I need to get some information sometimes. He did make a comment in the chat. He said, and I apologize, and I hope you don't mind me using you to make my point. No worse than what your rappers call women. So I'm assuming he was going back and forth with somebody in the chat. And that makes me think about the rappers. What they do, they rap about killing everybody, adultery, all of this crazy stuff, genocide on community. And then they get up there and the first thing they do is thank God. And everybody gets up and claps. So this is what I'm saying. This is the moral code of the time right now. Murder, adultery, and all of that. And they getting it from here. And it can be accepted. And we're about to get into why. We're about to get into why it's accepted. Okay, I'm about to skip past all this. Yeah. Oh, again, he said that the Bible doesn't promote it. It shows it sometimes. I guess, you know, do as I say, not as I do. That's God's mentality. you know, an evil God, again, with the same circular reason. Urethro, you 3-year-old. I'm saying it all messed up. Anyway, JFaqz just lost the debate where he couldn't prove the existence of God. He said, can I prove the existence of God objectively? No. Every debate he has on this channel after losing that debate, honestly, is frivolous until he tackles that problem, okay? First, you need to prove does God exist before we argue the morality of the Bible and God giving these commands. But I will, you know, I love DMG and the fans, so I'm here educating the people. Again, we are here debating is the Bible. We are here debating the moral bankruptcy of the Bible that's supposed to be the written word of God. He can't even prove exists. I just want everybody to be aware of that, okay? And keep that in the back of your mind as context when you review his arguments. Again, right here, I like this meme right here. Daddy, an atheist asked me to prove God is real. So what did you do, son? I threatened him with hell. And then he says, good job, son. Like, anyway, does morality need the Bible? Without the Bible,
2 minutes, AOne, 2 minutes.
Derive your foundation for morality. I'm not even about to get into that one. JFaqz just won a debate against Takari proving Jesus is God. So if he tries to go into the Old Testament and say that that's got to be thrown out, that Jesus came and changed it, he can't do that because obviously they're the same person. And he just won that debate. Finally, he got to win. You know, give him a round of applause, everybody. He actually got 2. He got that belt and he won't have it long, I'm sure. JFaqz can't use the argument that was the Old Testament because either way, it's the same God unless Jesus came back for more than the sins of humans. If when he says that was the Old Testament, he indirectly implies Jesus incarnating on earth is also some schizophrenic intervention God is having with himself. Almost a software upgrade because his moral code is outdated and he wants to keep up with the times. Which also implies that at some point God's moral compass was off and that morality is outside of God, okay? My question is, why would God be wrong about slavery for so long and then change it? Think about that because the question and answer round, I'm going to ask you that, okay? Fake love. I like the fake love bag right here because it makes me think about the Stockholm syndrome effect that the Christians have with God. It's like he wants to torture you and punish you if you don't worship him, but you love that about him. You know what I'm saying? It's like y'all got this air like this. Like he's a monster, but he's my monster. You know what I'm saying? And I don't knock y'all. That's loyalty. I mean,
1 minute, AOne, 1 minute.
He's not a monster. He's your monster. Okay. And one man's God is another man's devil, obviously, because this guy is wreaking havoc all over the globe. But they say it's his globe. He can do it. That's not going to work for me. Okay. The major problem, I'm not even going to get into that because we don't have to go into divine command theory. Again, what is the Holy Bible? The Holy Bible is a sacred text in Christianity, considered by believers to be the inspired word of God. That was another one of his questions. Boom. I don't even have to go there yet. I'm going to get into that in a little bit. What's my time check?
18 seconds.
Is the morally bankrupt Bible responsible for the moral confusion today? Yes. If the Bible does give us absolute moral values, then why is it that believers in God don't agree what they are? Name any moral issue that we are debating right now. Abortion rights, gay marriage, stem cell research, doctorate suicide, the war.
That is time. Your thought.
Morals. But this book is supposed to be a moral code. With that, I yield my time. Appreciate y'all.
All right. The Sauce, a.k.a. the Bible Breaker, with another powerful round. Let me reset the timer as we go over to the Incredible Hulk of urban apologetics, Mr. JFaqz, JFaqz. The time is reset. Let me remove A1 screen. Are you ready for me to share your screen, Mr. Faqz?
Yes, I'm presenting now. Let me know when you got it, King.
1 second.
Ooh.
Up. Time starts when you start.
Okay. I honestly do not know what my opponent's end-all be-all is in this specific debate. It's kind of confusing, to be honest with you. He was all over the place in that round, and it was actually pretty depressing. I expected more. He falsely claims that I said that the Bible was indeed morally bankrupt by 30%, when moral bankruptcy means that you don't have any morals at all, or that you've expended most of your morals. It's about weight and quantifying, right? So, and to further this, I gave the definition that you agreed with and you liked. Let me go ahead and put it in the full screen so everybody can see it clearly. You liked my definition. You said you did, right? This first definition right here comes directly from Psychology Today. Literally, I can prove that, by the way. The state a person reaches when they trade away or violate too many of their moral values and commitments. That has everything to do with quantity, putting numbers to it, weighing whether or not you violated so much that you can't come back from it. It's about quantifying, which is why the Merriam-Webster definition says having no, as in none, or acting as if you have none. It's about quantifying, right? It's about quantifying. How do you quantify something? All I did was Google that question. When you quantify something, you're putting it to numbers. If you're asked to quantify the fingers on your hand, you better say 5. If you like math, this word is for you. Quantifying is counting or expressing something in numbers. Like I stated in my first round, men lie, women lie. Well, I said AOne lies, but numbers don't. Just off the numbers alone, the Bible is not morally bankrupt. My opponent, for some odd reason, seems to want to keep talking about DCT. I think he likes divine command theory, to be honest with you, because I not one time mentioned commands of in any way, shape, or form. He keeps referring to old debates and conversations instead of arguing the topic at hand. He wants to sling ad homs across the table. He brings up the fact that he wants to talk about God's moral compass when we're talking about the Bible, quantifying the morality of the Bible. This inanimate object that Christians read, we're quantifying the morals of the Holy Bible. 30%, as I measured, means that there was 30% negative content, not that it was 30% morally bankrupt. I don't know what to say to you, King. That was pretty depressing. This is the combined analysis. The math don't lie. 30% morally negative teachings. This does not mean that the Bible is morally bankrupt by 30%. The definition doesn't even allow for that. The definition doesn't allow for that. Is the Bible morally bankrupt? According to the definition, if you've traded away too many, does that look like too many to you? Is 30 greater than 50 if we remove the neutral? I don't think so. I don't think so. But let's get to your second question. How does divine command theory account for moral diversity across different cultures and religions, especially when they claim different divine commands? I have no idea. My position has nothing to do with DCT. It's based on raw numbers, quantity, context and trends, quality, and definitions. DCT ignores the very empathetic and emotional content showed in the Holy Bible at majority, as I've shown in the first round. The Bible is majority positive. This round, I'm going to start this off with asking, is quantity enough? So the first round, I took and measured the existence of positive and negative content within the Bible. Since it was focused on the attendance of content, neutrality also existed as a measurement, because some things just weren't positive or negative as they existed outside of their stories or applications. Meaning, the amount didn't consider the why, characteristics, or qualities, just the what and how much. It was important to make it objective. My goal was to make it objective. I'm not going to sit up here and lie to y'all. I wanted the math to be objective. That's what the quantitative approach was for. We already answered the question. Is the Bible morally bankrupt? Quantitatively, absolutely not. This is the qualitative portion. In this round, I'm showing you a more in-depth approach to understanding the morality of the text overall. I call it the qualitative approach. This is where the why is actually considered and the characteristics of the text is weighed. Meaning, I include the understanding of the stories and not just count them. I include understanding that gruesome things such as the crucifixion itself was ultimately a righteous deed for the benefit of others and an act of charity. However, I still use math to further my point. My analysis Using the power of AI, including the cultural context of the writings and through the lens of modern perspectives, I divided the Bible again into two main sections, the Old Testament and New Testament. Each section was then examined separately for morally positive and negative content. Again, there is no neutral section because we're not just looking at the what or how much anymore. That was the objective round, first round. And I proved objectively that the Bible is not morally bankrupt. I then took the results.
5 minutes, JFaqz, 5 minutes.
Absolutely, King. I appreciate you. I took the results from both halves and combined them to provide an overall assessment of the Bible's moral stance in quality. Here's what I came up with. The Old Testament, first half. The Old Testament is rich with moral teachings, but also contains numerous instances of actions and commands that are difficult to reconcile by modern standards. I do not and have never shied away from the negativity in the Holy Bible. I guess my opponent was talking about somebody else. On the next slide is a qualitative breakdown of the key themes and moral elements present in the Old Testament. Positive moral teachings, advocacy for justice and care for the marginalized, including laws that protect the poor, the stranger, and the widow. Those are the scriptural references. Principles of mercy, love, and integrity found in teachings like those in Proverbs and Psalms. Ethical imperatives such as love your neighbor as yourself. The more problematic or moral issues, laws endorsing slavery, harsh punishments, and gender inequality. Divinely sanctioned wars and acts of violence, including the destruction of entire cities. Rigid laws that seem harsh by modern standards, such as stoning for certain offenses. The percentage estimate, considering the balance between moral teaching and troubling aspects, the Old Testament is estimated to be approximately 60% morally positive and 40% morally problematic. Qualitatively, the Old Testament isn't even morally bankrupt. But let's keep going. The New Testament is primarily centered around the teachings of Jesus and the early Christian church. Its moral framework generally emphasizes love, forgiveness, and redemption. The positive moral teachings, emphasis on love, compassion, and forgiveness, particularly in Jesus' Sermon on the Mount and Paul's teachings. Those are the scriptural references. Advocacy for nonviolence, turning the other cheek, and caring for those in need. Those are the scriptural references. The principle of universal brotherhood and equality in Christ. Another scriptural reference. The problematic and moral issues, certain teachings on judgment and exclusivity, including warnings about eternal damnation. The reinforcement of patriarchal views, although these are debated in terms of interpretation, meaning they vary depending on who you talk to. The estimate overall, given the predominantly positive moral focus of the New Testament, it is estimated to be approximately 85% morally positive and a very paltry 15% morally problematic. To combine the entire thing, what I did was I took the evaluations of both halves and I took the total of them and averaged it out. The Old Testament was 60-40, the New Testament was 85-15. Averaging that out gives you 72.5% morally positive and 27.5% morally problematic. I know niggas.
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Absolutely, King. Absolutely, King. I know niggas in the hood that literally shoot niggas for fun, and niggas still call them good men. But you want to quantify the Bible's morals at these kinds of numbers as morally problematic or bankrupt? That's interesting. That's my conclusion. That's very interesting, King. That's very interesting. I'm not sure why you thought, for some odd reason, bringing up the Euthyphro dilemma or DCT had anything to do with this conversation. It's actually pretty confusing. I'm not sure why you keep arguing topics that have absolutely nothing to do with the conversation at hand, bringing up God when you should be focused on the text itself. Then you ask the most insane question is, how morally bankrupt is enough? It's either you are, or it is, or it isn't, by definition. And by definition,
60 seconds.
Absolutely. And by definition, using mathematics, both objectively and subjectively, I have shown that the Holy Bible is not morally bankrupt. And I yield my time.
All right, JFaqz yields right around 40 seconds of his time. Shout out to the Incredible Hulk and Urban. powerful information from these two juggernauts of the Versus Series tournament. The social media champion taking on the self-proclaimed uncrowned champion, AOne, aka the Bible Breaker. That being said, family, it's now time for everybody's favorite part of the show. It is the 10-minute Q&A. This is the part where one participant will have 10 minutes to question their opponent. They can question their opponent, give their opponent as many questions as they possibly can during this 10-minute period. If there's a stall or a breakdown, an argument ensues, I will chime in. Otherwise, the person asking the questions has the right to say, I'm going to move to the next question because they feel it's not being answered or they're satisfied with the answer. Either way, it is their time to ask questions. This is not a time for back and forth. That will happen, but it is up to the person asking the questions to keep it moving. If it does happen to be a breakdown, I will intervene. Otherwise, the person asking the questions, it is their time. So, Bible Breaker, you have a Hulk in your sights. The time will start when you ask your first question.
Okay, I thought he was going first. Let me pull my questions up.
Do y'all wanna switch it?
I don't know why I thought he was supposed to go first one time. I thought I was supposed to get the last word, but I don't know. Maybe he was supposed to go first on the second round. Where my questions at? Hold on. My screen still sharing over on your end?
Yeah, I got it. Pull it up.
Yeah, you can pull it up.
All right.
And let me see what I see over here. Is good people going to hell for not believing in Jesus morally right?
I'm sorry, is that a question you're asking me?
This is the question and answer round.
Oh, I didn't realize we started. I'm sorry. Can you repeat it? Oh, I can read it. It's on the screen. Is good people going to hell for not believing in Jesus morally right? Good people are not going to hell. I'm not sure where you're getting that from.
Okay. Let me ask you a question then. Somebody who's lived their life completely morally upright, but who is a non-believer, they are going to hell according to the Bible, correct?
No.
Where
No.
are they going?
They will make it to New Jerusalem if they were indeed living morally right. Hear me out. You want me to answer your question, right? They're going to New Jerusalem.
You do that. Yeah, answer that question while I sidestep you.
They're going to New Jerusalem if they were indeed living an upright life, right? But they will be weighed according to their actions. They'll be judged according to their actions.
Okay, qualitative and quantitative.
Okay, what about it?
There are some people who think 1% negative in the Bible is morally bankrupt. Do you agree?
I disagree.
You could be a politician. You know that? You can say, you know what? We only killed a couple people.
Yo, what?
We only killed a couple people. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't that many. What did your slide say? 30%? 30% negative? That's enough to throw the whole book out because people are suffering behind that 30%. Let me go ahead. My screen isn't showing. Oh, it is. It is. I'm on the wrong thing. Okay, since I see you have a problem answering questions, I had a backup plan for you. Can you pause my time?
I thought I answered
Time is
everything.
paused at 8 minutes and 19 seconds.
Got it. Just for clarity's sake, DMG, I
just
want to make sure. I just want to make sure I'm not breaking no rules or violating that man's time because I like to think I'm doing this the right way, right?
Absolutely not.
Did I not answer questions or did I answer questions? I just want to make sure.
I thought you were answering the questions.
Nobody said you didn't answer a question.
I just wanted to make sure.
Okay. I wasn't ready to pull them up yet. I thought you was going first. So I got to get my questions really ready.
Hey,
Dang,
did y'all have an agreement on who was going first?
No, not at all. I don't know why. I just assumed he was supposed to go first one time somewhere in there, and then it like went back and forth. But I don't know. I could have been confused. But I can't see my little cursor thing, like the little pointy thing. Hold on. Dang. I gotta close something. I got too many windows open. Sorry.
You good, bro?
There we go. Okay. I want to play a game with you, and we're gonna just play a game then called Do you know who made that quote? You hear me? I'm going to read a quote to you, and then you can tell me if you know who made the quote.
Okay.
Okay.
Time starts.
Because I know you really don't like the yes or no questions. You feel me? I can't ask you some yes or no questions. If God can reveal the truth that he exists to everybody, why would he leave the most important message about his salvation in the Gospels prone to mistakes from poor apologists, scribal errors, and limitations of reason?
Oof, that was a. Can you say that again? I'm sorry.
The harm of religion is it tends to place dogma above people and humanity. And as you threw me off with that one. I was just gonna try to go to the next one because I know you play games.
You really went over my head.
It's cool. If God told you to come over here and cut me right now, would you do it?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. You don't.
No.
Why wouldn't you?
Because I have a relationship with God according to scriptures that doesn't allow for such.
That doesn't allow for such. So if God commands something evil, it's not. You wouldn't do it just because what? Why? So you wouldn't listen to God. You would disobey God, is what you're saying?
I think you misunderstand who God is. We're talking about a God who was okay and allowed a man to actually rebel and reject.
Next question.
Okay.
Next question. How can the moral contradictions be explained in the Bible?
I'm not sure what you mean by moral contradictions.
Like eye for an eye, turn the other cheek.
That's not a moral contradiction.
It definitely is a moral contradiction. Maybe you just don't understand the question.
I fully understand the question.
How can moral contradictions like love thy neighbor and enslave the people around you be explained by the Bible?
They're not moral contradictions.
Again, okay, you're wrong right there. I just named another moral contradiction. How can contradictions like... No, you know what? I'm going to go to a different question. Caught me off guard on there. And usually this is where you fold. I should have had my stuff pulled up. What do we tell other Christians who may disagree with you about divine command theory and obeying God's commands?
I would say that they're absolutely wrong.
So you actually would, okay, it's cool. But according to your own doctrine, you will be going to hell for disobeying God's commands.
It's not what I said.
It's apparent that you even think that sometimes the Bible is immoral and you shouldn't follow that shit or the God who's telling you what to do.
It's not what I said.
I appreciate you admitting that, though.
I never said that.
It sucks that you don't think 1% of immorality is enough to throw the whole Bible out. That's morally bankrupt. Do you believe that the definition we're using is completely lacking in morals?
I'm sorry?
Do you believe that the definition we're using for morally bankrupt is completely lacking in morals?
No, that's not what the definition states. The definition says...
Exactly. The definition states acting as if you have no morals.
So
if the Bible has 30% negative effectiveness, there are times where the Bible acts as if it has no morals. You stated that. Why are you then disagreeing with yourself and arguing against yourself?
That's not what I said.
Definitely, quote unquote.
I mean, you could play it back. You're in your Q&A time.
How much time do I have? You said
he gave you 15.
4 minutes and 30 seconds.
4 minutes and 30 seconds. Can you pause my time so I can pull up the rest of my slideshow? I was on my little text list reading questions off there.
Time is stopped.
Now I'm about to use my slideshow. It's still sharing?
Yep.
Okay. It was probably stuck on that one screen. while I was reading all of that to you.
Yeah, it's still on the screen with the monkey that says, but the Bible says.
Okay, so so I need to go. How many slides up? 1, 2, 3. Okay, got it.
Like we see your cursor, but nothing is moving.
No, I know I'm on the micro, but now I'm going to the big one. 1, 2, 3. Did it go forward? No. Okay.
Yeah,
That's what I wanted to do. Now I got to go back over here. Okay. With or with, can you start my time?
Time starts at 4 minutes, 25 seconds.
With or without religion, you would have good people doing good things and evil people doing evil things. But for good people to do evil things, that takes religion. Do you know who made that quote?
No.
That would be Steven Weinberg. Okay. You know, we'll just play a game for the last 4 minutes. Because I know you don't like answering questions, so I keep it real simple because I know you're not going to know answer none of these. So just go ahead and keep saying no. Okay, next one. Either God wants to abolish evil and cannot, or he can but does not want to, or he cannot and does not want to. If he wants to but cannot, he is impotent. If he can but does not want to, he is wicked. But if God both can and wants to abolish evil, then how come evil is in the world? Don't worry about it. I got you. I know you don't know.
I mean, you didn't ask the question, so I just sat there.
We're playing who made this quote.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you got to ask me a question though, bro, so I can.
Who
say
made
I
this
don't
quote?
know.
Okay. Religious fanaticism has clearly produced, and in all probability. Oh, you don't like this game? You don't like this game?
No, I don't mind the game. I'm just trying to answer.
You're
not asking me questions.
Is God willing to prevent evil but not able? Then he is not omnipotent.
I don't.
Is he able but not willing? Then he is malevolent. Is he both able and willing? Then whence cometh evil? Is he neither able nor willing? Then why call him God? Who made that quote?
I don't know who made that quote.
I know you don't. It's okay though. But these are all quotes about morality in the Bible, letting you know how the Bible is morally bankrupt. Oh, I went too far. There we go. So that way the people can read that one. That's all, because you don't seem to understand morality, but I see why. You get your morality from the Bible. You know what I'm saying? That's where there's all this stealing, killing, and damn drug dealing going on. You feel me? Next question. I hear you over there typing what you chat GPT in.
I'm taking notes, King.
The important thing is not to stop questioning curiosity. Wait, the important thing is not to stop questioning.
2 minutes.
Curiosity has its own reason for existing. One cannot help but be in awe when he contemplates the mysteries of eternity, of life, of the marvelous structures of reality. Do you know who made that quote?
I do not know who made that quote.
Let's keep it moving. That's Albert Einstein. I'm going to kill time like this on you. I'm not about to argue with you. I know you don't like answering questions. Next question. A man's ethical behavior should be based ethically on sympathy, education, and social ties. No religious basis is necessary. Man would indeed be in poor way if he had to be restrained by fear of punishment and hope of reward after death. Do you know who made that quote?
I do not know who made that quote, King.
Gotcha. Same guy. Okay. So you said you don't believe that somebody who doesn't believe is going to hell?
They're not
50 seconds.
Correct.
Are they going to heaven?
They are not immediately going to heaven either.
Okay, so somebody who's been good all their life is just a non-believer, isn't going to heaven. But somebody who believes and lived in sin, where are they going?
Someone who believes and lived in sin, they're absolutely going to be punished.
Oh, so they're still not going to get into heaven, even just for believing in Jesus.
Correct, because you were living in sin.
That is the most I've never heard that take. I think you're just taking that take to be combative right now, is a
20
passive
seconds.
aggressive way, but it's okay.
Sure thing. No, absolutely.
But
I
most
get it.
Christians believe that if you don't believe in Jesus, you can't get into heaven. And I feel like this is an immoral loophole that puts good people in a bad place and bad people in a good place. Let's keep it moving. On my last slide. Oh, we got a conclusion, right? Yeah, my conclusion.
That's time. That is time.
I really want my conclusion so I can talk.
Let me reset the timer at 10 minutes. We will move to JFaqz, aka Mr. Just the Facts. It is now your time to ask the Bible breaker as many questions as you can within a 10-minute time frame. Time starts when you start talking.
Absolutely. Wow. Just wow. I'm.
Are you sharing your screen?
Yeah. I'm just flabbergasted about what just happened. Let me share my screen. I'm sorry. I was just taken aback by what just happened seconds ago. I'll share this one. All right, let me know when you can see it.
Just a second. All right.
Can you see it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. He just finished saying that I am trying to go through some kind of loophole. Can you do me a favor, AOne? Can you turn to Revelations 20:12 through 13 for me, please?
Yeah, hold on. Let me get my Bible.
Sure, absolutely. I just want to make sure we read it together. I don't want to be.
Should the time keep going or should I pause?
Read it to me. Just read it to me.
No. Keep the time going.
Just read it to me.
Okay. You asked me, right?
Hebrew Israelite thing. Go ahead.
Revelations.
What verse?
I'm not. Just like you don't violate my time, King. I answered your questions. Come on, right? So you asked me if a person lived their life righteously, what would happen? You asked if they were going to hell, and I said no, they're not immediately going to hell. And the reason for that is because, according to the scriptures.
Do you have a question?
Yes, I'm about to ask it in a second. According to the scriptures, it says that, and the books were opened, including the book of life, and the dead were judged according to what they had done, as recorded in the books. And all were judged according to their deeds. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. You see why I believe the way that I do, correct? All right,
No.
that's the first thing. That was the first
No,
question.
I don't. Was that a question?
I just gave the premise. Yeah, I just gave the premise for why I believe the way I do.
No, I still don't, because I know the other verses in the Bible.
Is living righteous, listen to me.
Are you asking? You want me to answer?
No, I want you. I don't want you to waste my time. If a person is living righteously without faith in Christ, they'll be judged according to their deeds. Someone who claims to believe in Christ, now we're going to address the other question you asked me, and continues in sin, is going to be damned if they don't repent. Quite literally, and the Bible says that. I'm going to put it in the NLT so we can read it clearly, okay? Since you want me to read it to you, right? Dear friends, if we deliberately continue sinning after we have received knowledge of the truth, there is no longer any sacrifice that will cover these sins. There is only the terrible expectation of God's judgment and the raging fire that will consume his enemies. Do you see why I stated what I stated and why I believe as I do?
No, I still don't.
Of course,
in
you don't.
full,
It's
when
all right.
knowing
It's okay.
full context
It's okay.
of the rest
It's
of the scriptures,
okay.
I don't see why you've chosen to
okay.
isolate that scripture and
It's
ignore the
All right,
rest
you
of
can
the
stop.
passages
You can stop.
that
You can stop. You can
actually
stop.
go against.
That's right.
Okay, yeah.
No biggie. No biggie. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen for a moment. We'll come back to screen sharing. Is your premise that good is only good because God commands it found in the Bible?
I don't have a premise. My premise is the Bible is morally bankrupt.
Okay, you presented that good is only good because God commands it, and other Christians say the same. That's what you're saying that, right? And you're
well, when
that.
I in the face
Let me
off,
finish. Don't cut me off.
Statement.
Don't cut. Yo, moderator,
well, ask me a question.
Do something about him, please.
You said you stated.
All right, hold on. Time pause. Okay,
he literally asked me a question and then rolled after that. So I didn't cut you off.
Remember, this is his time to ask questions. Let's keep it pushing. Time starts.
Thank you. You posited that many Christians go with DCT, divine command theory, and you use the Euthyphro dilemma in order to further your point about moral bankruptcy, which is odd, right? My question to you is simple. Is that premise found in the Holy Bible? Yes or no?
That premise was found in the face-off, and I should have clipped
not
it.
found in the Holy Bible. Got it.
It was
Don't
found
worry.
in the
We
face-off,
can
and
move
you
on.
said it,
It's not found.
actually.
Your answer
That's
is no.
why I
Your
put
answer
that
is no.
there. I put you in your name in quotes.
I'm asking you
You said
for
it.
actual answer right now. You could say,
And I'm telling you the answer why I
Very much.
prefaced that, because you
I'm
said
ready to do
it.
something about it. Do something
So
about it,
I
moderator. Do
assumed
something
you
about it,
were most
moderator.
Christians,
Do
because
something
each
about it,
Christian is
moderator,
different.
please.
He asked me a
All right,
question.
pause the time again. Listen. This is his time to answer questions.
Answer
Let's
questions.
keep it
That's what I was
going.
doing, bro. He
To
was trying to
ask
cut me
questions.
off in the middle of my answer. I didn't.
Okay.
I let you talk on your question time. Don't cut me off on mine. When I'm asking another
Bro,
question,
I
just
didn't
shut up.
cut you
Remember,
off.
the
Just
person
shut up.
asking the question has the
when you
option to
play it
keep
back-
moving
Okay.
at their leisure. Just same thing with you.
I gave you that
it ain't-
respect. I
this ain't
followed
no
the
different.
rules to a T.
Bro, nobody's
Yo, chill out.
disrespecting you. Ask your question, and
I'm
when
not-
I answer it.
Hear me out for both of y'all. As I said
Turn your
before
mic
this,
up. Maybe do that, because I can barely hear you when you're trying to cut me off. Do that.
as I
Try that.
said before
Nobody's
the
being
question and
disrespectful to you.
answer period started, the person asking the question has the leisure to say when the question is moving to the next, when they move into the next question. So when they satisfied with the answer or unsatisfied, they can move to the next question whenever they want. We are at 6 minutes and 10 seconds.
DMG, can you have him turn his mic up so I can hear him when he's cut, when he wants me to stop more clearly?
All right,
I think that may be the
JFaqz.
problem. I'm boisterous over here, so I'm
Am I
not.
not loud enough?
Or maybe I need to turn my headphones up.
I
It could
think
be
you should
that.
turn your headphones up.
Let me try that. No,
Whatever we gotta listen, whatever we gotta do to keep this part rolling, let's try to accommodate one another.
Just check your mic, King, one time. I'll just check my headphones.
All right. Is this
That's
better?
way better. Heck yeah.
Okay.
6
Yeah, that's
minutes,
way better. I know the crowd here.
6 minutes, 10 seconds.
Thank you very much. Continuing. I asked a very simple question. Is that premise found in the Holy Bible? He danced around it and started filibustering.
I told you where I found it
my
at.
God, bro.
I'm sorry.
Next
I'm sorry.
question.
I did cut you off here. I apologize.
Next question. Is law needed to establish good, or is it needed to correct evil?
Ask that one more time.
Is law needed to establish good, or is it needed to correct evil?
Taking the premise that the Bible is morally bankrupt, I think that all of that is absurd.
That I don't know what this has to do with what you just said.
Is
Is law needed to establish good, or is it needed to correct evil?
Law is needed to correct evil.
Okay,
but
thank you. I appreciate it. What does it mean to quantify something?
Measure.
Okay, I appreciate you stating that. Thank you. Does morally bankrupt mean guilty of any wrong or devoid of good?
You posed a question with two options, and it's neither one of those. I have a third one. Oh, well, okay. I mean, ask the question again one more time.
Does morally bankrupt mean that you're guilty of any wrong at all, or does it mean that you are devoid of good?
Morally bankrupt is defined as acting as if you have no morals.
I appreciate you giving the definition. That works. Thank you. Is justice necessary for good to exist?
No.
It's not. And I want to share the screen, if you don't mind, Brother DMG, real quick, King.
Go for it.
Let me.
You have 4 minutes and 15 seconds.
Nah, you can keep the time running. I ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna share my screen once I get it pulled up here. All right, share. Now, since we're arguing the Bible, right? Did the God of the Bible, the Christian God, create law first, or did he create just good first?
I believe the Christian Bible is a fiction and that none of that was created. Or are you talking about in the context of the fairy tale that you find yourself believing in?
I mean, yeah,
Or are you talking about in reality? I just want to know if you're talking about subjective reality or objective reality. Clarification. That's all.
The point of clarification is simple. Pause the time, please, DMG.
Time is paused at 3 minutes, 21 seconds.
I don't want to waste my time clarifying for him. I want to, you know what I'm saying? So
no worries.
The point of clarity is simple. We're arguing about the Holy Bible. So we're going to be talking about content within it. Got it?
Si, senor. Come on.
Okay. Can you resume my time, DMG? Thanks.
Time starts at 3 minutes, 21 seconds.
Appreciate it. Now, my question again. Did God create law or justice first, or did he create good first, according to the Holy Bible?
I don't think God created either, according to the Holy Bible. I think what's good is based on the situations. It's not based on a law that your God gives or none of that. Like, so you have your concepts backwards, and that's what I'm trying to show you.
Okay.
And when you cut me off, I'll stop.
All right, cool. So, definitively, according to we're talking about the Bible, the Christian Bible, where that's what we're talking about. According to the Christian Bible, good existed prior to any law being created. That's the answer to my question. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. My next question to you, you stated, well, I don't even want to get into that. What were the people prior to Christ coming in the flesh judged according to?
Prior to Christ coming in the flesh, what people group are you talking about?
All people groups, according to the Bible. We're talking about the Bible, according to the Bible.
So you're talking about Christians?
No.
Okay.
We're talking about the people within the Old Testament. I said prior to Christ, so we're talking about the Old Testament, right? Prior to Christ, any moment before Christ, what were people judged according to?
Prior to Christ, I know in the Middle East, there were a lot of religions, and they were all judged according. Well, they believe they were judged according to the God that they subscribe to. So Muslims would be judged according to Muslims.
We're talking about the Bible, though, King. So I don't really know what you're talking about.
You're talking about, yeah.
Just stop. Because
you said during what time? That's why I asked you what people group and what time.
I said Old Testament. Pause the time, please, DMG. Please. Thank you very much.
Time is paused at 1 minute.
Thank you.
22 seconds.
Do we not have a clearly outlined?
Ask your question again.
Ask your question.
That doesn't mean that you asking questions that are rational. Go ahead.
I'm talking to DMG. 1 second, please.
Oh, okay.
Do we have a clearly outlined title? Yes or no?
Brother, ask your question.
Is the Bible morally bankrupt?
Got it. So we're talking about the Holy Bible, correct?
Correct.
Thank you very much, DMG. You can resume my time.
Time starts at 1:22.
Okay. Did everybody before the coming of Christ, listen to the subject, go to hell according to the Bible?
Now pause. Okay. Now pause this time.
No, I don't need my time.
Pause this time for me. I'm not talking to you now. Now I'm talking to DMG like you just was, sir. Can you pause this time?
JFaqz,
he just said,
I do not want my time.
Okay,
paused.
well, he just asked. Well, I'm going to repeat what you said. You just said everybody.
No, did everybody before the coming of Christ?
Exactly. Everybody before the coming of Christ is not just Christians.
AOne.
Listen to the question.
Okay.
According to the Bible.
We got 39 seconds left.
According to the Bible. According to the Bible. Hold on, let me share my screen. I don't give a fuck about the time right now because now I'm getting annoyed. Like, this is just annoying. Like, hold on 1 second.
According to the Bible?
Nah, just stop. I don't even want the answer no more because you just filibuster. You
showed
it. I don't care. I really don't care. No, there are no more questions. Share my screen, please, DMG. Share my screen. I just want to.
You gotta ask questions now.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
He stopped Banu when he didn't ask questions.
I'm done.
All right, well, yield your time.
So here we go. No, I'm using my time. I'm using my time.
Started closing.
You're gonna waste my time.
If you don't stop.
What does this question say? According to the Bible. We're talking about the Bible. The topic of the debate is Bible.
Do you have a question, sir?
I already asked my question.
Do you have a question?
I'm wasting time.
That's time. That is time. So, again, as the Q&A tends to do, it got out of hand. Questions get asked. No answers get put forth. That's the nature of the thing. It is what it is. This is the Versus series. It get a little bit testy. That being said, we're going to give each of our participants 5 minutes. 5 minutes to close this thing out. We're going to start with our
go
brother.
first.
Is that good with you, JFaqz? Because I want to make sure we in agreement, because we've been doing it one way the whole time.
Yeah,
Y'all
listen,
in agreement?
yeah, exactly. If he want to switch it, I switch it. I don't care. I mean, he want the last word. He had all the first words, so now he want the last one. Sure, I don't care.
To respond to that briefly, in my presentation, in my intro, I shared the AI overview of who takes the affirmative. I'm supposed to get the first word and the last word, and I actually stated that in the intro when I went over what my job was for the affirmative.
Thank you very much for telling us.
All right, so we got a 5-minute closeout.
That's why I thought it was supposed to switch at least
of
one time.
Urban Apologetics, Mr. JFaqz, JFaqz.
Absolutely, King. Let me go ahead and share my screen, brother. This has been entirely hilarious, to say the least. Yo, you can start the time, King.
Time starts.
Listen, we walked through the evidence. We sifted through the arguments because I presented both sides of it. We stand now at a crossroads. The question before us is simple. Will we embrace the truth of the Bible's moral framework, or will we allow the distortions and biases of those who seek to undermine it cloud our judgment? You see, my opponent may have offered critiques and isolated stories and focused on passages that, when stripped of context, might seem troubling. But that narrow focus blinds them to the larger resounding truth. The truth that the Bible's message is overwhelmingly one of justice, mercy, love, and hope. The criticisms fall apart when we consider the entirety of the context of the text itself, its moral vision, its deep and abiding values, and its relentless pursuit of what it is that's good and just. The Bible is not merely a collection of ancient commands. It's a testament to what is truly valuable and just in this world. Its teachings from the bedrock of moral societies and have inspired movements of justice and liberation throughout history. To ignore this is not just an intellectual failure, it's a moral one. Consider this. Why is it that for millennia, people of all backgrounds have turned to the scriptures, not just for rules, but for guidance on how to live rightly? It's because the Bible speaks to something deep within the human soul. A yearning for justice, a recognition of value, and a desire to see what is good triumph over what is evil. The critics may point to moments of darkness in the text, but they cannot erase the overwhelming light of its message. A message that calls us to uphold what is just, to love sacrificially, and to value every human being as created in the image of God. Let's not be deceived by those who twist the text to serve their agenda. The truth is plain. The Bible is not morally bankrupt. It is morally rich, in fact. It's not a relic of outdated ethics. It's a source of timeless values that have guided humanity toward what's good and true. Its foundation is not simply in commands, but in the very fabric of justice and value. A justice that defends the weak, a value that lifts up the downtrodden, and a morality that points to a higher purpose. So I'll leave you with this. The Bible is not only a guide to what is morally right, it's a testament to what it means to live a life of value, justice, and love. In a world often lost in confusion, it remains a steadfast compass pointing us towards what is good, what is just, and what is true. Let's choose not to be blinded by skepticism or swayed by biased criticism. Instead, let's see the Bible for what it truly is: a source of moral clarity, a defender of justice, and a beacon of hope in a world that desperately needs it. And I yield my time.
Mr. JFaqz, the Paradigm Shift TV 314 social media champion. Let me reset the clock. The sauce, AOne, the Bible breaker. You have 5 minutes to close this thing out, brother.
I'm muted. Okay. That's a funny nickname you gave me, man.
Which one?
The Bible breaker. It made me think about breakdancing for some reason. Is my screen sharing up?
Let's see. Where you at? Hold up. Okay. Got you. Time starts when you start.
Okay, that was a nice debate, JFaqz. I appreciate you showing up to this one. Most of them run, and the ones that do show up don't last long. In closing, from Matt Dillahunty, dear Christians, your religion has us born as reprobates, guilty before we've taken a single breath, responsible for things we've never done. It offers instant, undeserved forgiveness for the most horrible crimes and punishes the people who only allege crimes is disbelief forever. It advocates slavery, denigrates women, curses homosexuals, orders the stoning of unruly children, sanctions wars of extermination, condones human sacrifices, and poisons every mind it touches. It includes only one unforgivable crime: disbelief. Is that just? This justice you admire is no such thing. It's divine edict. It's arbitrary. It's capricious. It's ultimately unjust and immoral. Think about the pedophiles who have already, think about the pedos who have already escaped our flawed justice system. Do you realize that your system says that they are all eligible for an eternal paradise? Under the rules of Christianity, these pedos who escape justice here can also escape your ultimate justice. For that, I have a problem with this. Under the rules of Christianity, he may live forever in paradise, while somebody who spent their entire life doing good, helping others, and contributing in a generally positive way to the one and only life we are sure to get, ultimately is judged unworthy of that reward. Don't kid yourself. You haven't accepted a cosmic sense of justice that alleviates the problem. You've only accepted one that alleviates the problem for you. It's a selfish justification that shows no regard for real matters of justice. It is the height of arrogance in your desire to feel special because somebody up there thinks you are special. Well, according to the paradigm you advocate, he thinks anyone willing to worship him is special with no regard for justice or character. Go read Romans. No one makes the point clear more than Paul. The law was established with full knowledge that no one would be able to fulfill it, damning us further. And then this loophole was established to let some people through regardless of their standing with the law. Your religion has made you a slave. It has made you uncaring. It has made you support immorality and injustice while claiming the arbitrary edicts and loopholes count as either. It is reprehensible. It is a reprehensible lie that poisons the mind and prevents you from understanding reality. And, again, I'm just not teaching this to my daughter. You know what I'm saying? Like this, it gives you rules on pretty much how to keep and maintain a sex slave. And there's nothing that I don't care what anybody says ever. Like this book shouldn't be given to children. It's sick. It shouldn't be even given to people with low IQs. This is sad. I yield the rest of my time. And I pray for our people out here because the moral compass of the people is off, and I see why. Everybody.
That is AOne, aka the Sauce, aka the Bible Breaker. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all know how it go. We will get back to you with the results. We got the one and only Ratchet Craig in the building to tell us when you can expect those results back, to tell us who will be moving on. In the meantime, in between time, we got another semifinal match coming up. Ratchet Craig, it's on you.
Oh man, we got Lil Banu versus Pandemius coming up. That should be next week, right? What is it, next Saturday or next Sunday?
Next Saturday, my G.
Oh man, I can't wait to them. But right now, we right here with these two guys, and they put on a great show. And I congratulate them guys, man. I know y'all try to win this thing. I can tell you. what made this very interesting is we the question that's around is the beast, bro. I always put them with nothing. That's the beast, bro. And we got our judges. We finally got our judges to watch live, both of them. They was able to watch it from the beginning to the end live. That's the first one. So we should be getting the results back soon. Hopefully I find out in the morning what they gonna say. Cause I want them to sleep on it still. Cause it was a good debate. So we should be getting it back soon. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully we have some voice clips. We're gonna disguise their voice, of course, right? And they can give y'all either y'all, short comments or y'all glory, right? So that's why I came over here to announce that we're gonna do a little different in this semifinals. And congratulations both guys, man. Y'all put on a great performance.
Hell of a fight to the both of y'all. Like, they had me on the edge of my seat.
Man, that nigga gonna interrupt me though.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
God damn. I mean, anyway, nigga just interrupted me, man. But I'm about to lay him a plane anyway. And I just said we gonna have the results back. We gonna have the show with the 24 hours. So you brothers should show up to your demise or your victory. We want to know who going to the finals tomorrow. And like I said at the end of the day, all you niggas gonna be eliminated. Only one can win. So we gonna see.
Hey, Ratchet, quick question. I just want to make sure that I heard you correctly. So the decision will be made tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Okay.
They might get back to me and give me their results tonight. But we go put it tomorrow. We give them a chance to watch the whole debate. If you get a person, we don't want them to make a rush decision, then they just go out bull crap, right? We want them to watch it. And I'm gonna be asking questions on why they did they watch it or not. I really want to see if they watched it or not. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't get paid. You know what I'm saying? So we got to see if they watch it or not. And see if they good judges. So yeah.
And next week, August 31st, 7 p.m. Central Time. So that's probably gonna be like 7:15, 7:30, because your brother DMG be running late sometime. But next week, August 31st, 7 p.m. Central Time, you got Pandemus African versus Lord Benu, the Shepherd of Yemeka. Can Pan-Africans achieve anything of substance as citizens of the United States of America without breaking their contractual agreements? The next semi-final round.
Who said that's long?
Series tournament. You got Lord Benu, the Shepherd of Yemeka, the Shepherd of Benubians versus the Pan-African Demas. Talking about them Garveyites, y'all, the candy-headed animated assassin looking like a milk dud over there. That being said, that is next Saturday. After that, family, it's only one debate left after that. Somebody gonna win $300. Somebody gonna win that big gold belt. And so y'all be here or y'all be square. Taking it back to the old school. There can only be one champion of the world. We already got a social media champion. Shout out to
you. Oh, I thought y'all was crowning me already. It's okay. Do your thing. Go ahead.
Hey, the Bible practice say he is the uncrowned world champion. So self-proclaimed. I didn't say it. He said it.
The streets talk, man. That's what they told me, man. I'm just reporting.
So I'm just saying.
They bias. They already picked you. You ain't got to say a word.
Hey, real quick. I'm gonna turn it over. I'm gonna turn it over to the Craigs, but I just gotta get some self-aggrandizing right quick because I know my man GT in the audience. GT, I need a date. Captain K said he want the smoke and he need a date for that dream team versus ISUPK St. Louis. And I just want you to take a look in my face, good brother. I'm gaining on you, brother. You've been growing your beard for like 8 years, man. This is just like 2 months, man. Stop playing with me, son. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me, GT. I'm just trying to tell you. You've been growing you say you've been retired from the army for like 4 years. You've been growing your beard ever since. This ain't nothing but a couple of months, my G. Stop playing with me. Leandre, if you out there, you can't even grow a beard. So your son, my son he's 17. He got way more facial hair than you, man. I don't know what's up with you. You're stuck in puberty and you're almost 40. But anyway, GT, stop playing with me, baby. It's on you, Craig. It's on you.
Hey, I just want to say, man, that was a hell of a debate, man. Hell of a debate. Very entertaining, you know what I'm saying, with the two of you. One thing I have to say with the two of you, man, and I always name all the debates. This one was the battle of the egos. Who had the biggest ego between JFaqz and AOne? You know what I'm saying? I think it's a draw between both of y'all, in my personal opinion. But that's beside the point. But the information, bro, all of it was solid. I can't wait to see what the judges have to say. It looks like one judge made their decision. We're going to see what's up with it tomorrow. I can't wait with it. Shout out to Thomas White with all the caps. Thank you, brother, for being supportive. But, hey, man, hell of a debate, man. Can't wait to see who's the winner of this.
Hey, with our judge who made their decision, sleep on it. Don't make a decision yet. Sleep on it. All right, but either way, I don't like this rush thing because you got to give me an explanation. Remember, you got to give me an explanation tomorrow. But anyway, we have. I want to put something. Sharice, right? That one of y'all kid folk. AOne, that's your kid folk. We're not submitting no question.
I don't know who that
We're
is.
not submitting no questioning. We're not submitting no question and answer round question because you got to hear your opponent debate before you pre-playing. Like, you got to be listening to his debate also. Ask your question.
Where the after show at? You doing the after show, Craig?
Hey, yo, listen.
No, we do it no after.
I was about to say, if it was going to be an after show, I'm going to have to humbly bow
No
out.
after show. Yeah, no after shows. Nah, we ain't gonna do that one. They're gonna start too much confusion. Yeah, we go let this tournament go to play out. Yeah. So yeah, man, we got it because ain't no bending of the rules right now. We gonna let our judges have a sound mind because they might listen to the after shows and make their decision. I need them to make their decision based on what they see, not nobody else's opinion.
Yep, back to Mundo.
So yeah.
Yep.
Congratulations, both JFaqz. Y'all did a great job. I listened to it all, bro, and it's always a good thing, bro. Me personally, with me, I'm a fan first before I am a debater. So I'm a fan of y'all. So good job, bro.
Yeah, I'm just honestly, I lost according to Brother AOne, so don't congratulate me. You know what I'm saying? Just wish me well.
Man, you got to
wish you well, bro.
That laugh is classic, man.
Hey, your face is this DOG ain't got no say.
You faded out, Ratchet. What you say?
Y'all, I think DOG got to say so, y'all. They think you got to say so on we is the best.
Yeah. The Most High is interrupting what you're saying because you're an atheist.
Yeah, I believe that also. It's because he's an atheist. Yep.
The Most High don't want you to be heard, right?
So I'm just saying.
We didn't hear you.
Can y'all hear me now?
The Most High don't want you to be heard. Yeah, we hear you now.
Yeah, that's it.
Hey, I just said if you think DMG go determine who gonna be the winner of this debate, you is terribly wrong. You think the Creed go goddamn determine who gonna be the winner of the debate, you terribly wrong. So y'all got judges. So
No, good job. Good job, JFaqz. Good job, though.
Terribly wrong.
yeah.
You know, you're supposed to shake hands at the end, like the basketball teams and shit, and ish. You know. Yeah. The losers bracket. How does it feel? Can we interview you yet, or we gotta wait for that? No, I'm joking.
Wow.
If y'all gonna let me talk, you know I'm gonna slide in some. So somebody take over.
Brothers, the debate is over. I stand by.
Yeah, the debate is over, bro. And good job.
Real quick, salute to JFaqz. Salute to the Sauce, aka the Bible Breaker. I thought this was a spectacular debate. I apologize for the shaky beginning. Again, I thought y'all handled yourself well as y'all always do. Y'all had them up in the building. Obviously, this was a marquee contest. I think the Versus series is back in its stride, and I just want to thank all involved. I want to shout out the Craigs for putting this thing together. I want to shout out all of the debaters who've been a part of it. Shout out to Takari. Shout out to Zion the Lion. Shout out to Pandemics African. Shout out to my man, Lord Banu, the People's Champion. Shout out to JFaqz. Everybody that participated, we appreciate you. You stepped up, supported us when you didn't have to. Shout out to my sister Mika Wash, my man Darian, aka Cannon, everybody that been involved with this thing from the beginning. This is something I wanted to do ever since I started this channel. The Craigs made it happen for your boy. So I'm ecstatic about how it turned out. I feel like we got a real great team, a real great group of people who come on and support and do their thing. For all of the detractors, for all of the haters, for everybody that keep my name in their mouth, even though I be forgetting y'all exist, salute. Because all y'all do is continue to motivate us to keep doing what we do. And regardless of who watching y'all, who talking about y'all, we still doing it better than y'all. Because we got people respect and y'all don't. So keep running your mouth, and we're going to keep putting on great content with great information for the people who support us. We over here in our own universe. So keep running your mouth, and we're going to keep running up this content. We appreciate everybody. Craigs, if y'all got something to say, JFaqz, AOne, if y'all got anything to add.
I'm gonna let Craig do it, man. I can't come behind that, man. That was a great ending. But Craig, I know you got something to announce. Something or two.
Yeah, I got something to announce. You know what I'm saying? You my brother DMD, but I got to take back the whole Zion the Lion. I got to replace it with Zion the Cowardly Lion. You know what I'm saying? Like we got that's his name now, Zion the Cowardly Lion. He did not participate from the tournament. He ran from the tournament, and it was just too hot for him. So it's too hot in the kitchen, man. You know what I'm saying? You got to get the hell out, man. So he ran, Cowardly Lion. But everything is smooth, copacetic, and purely beautiful. I'm glad everybody's participating. I thank everybody, even everyone in the comments, for hyping it up. Please be looking out for after the tournament. It's gonna get wild. It's gonna really, really, really get wild, really wild. You know what I'm saying? You think this is hot? Just wait till after the tournament. But that's all I gotta say, Chief. I appreciate all of y'all for participating and helping the channel grow. I appreciate y'all.
All right. Y'all heard it. We're going to be black at it again. It's Paradigm Shift TV 314. It's your brother, DMG the Poet. You understand? The real black existentialist, the HNIC, student of Sonetta. Hate all you want to. We ain't going nowhere. We here and we out. That's peace. Results coming tomorrow. Stay tuned. We're going to schedule that show for y'all to come and get them results. JFaqz versus AOne. Is the Bible morally bankrupt? Somebody moving on, somebody going home. Who is going to be? Stay tuned tomorrow to get them results. We out. That's peace. Who we going to leave y'all with? Y'all want Neo love? Y'all want... So, you know what? Let's go with my boy... the God body. Nah, never mind. Neo love. We out, y'all.
You go, Neo.
Yeah. I know I got about 30 seconds to make y'all feel this before y'all turn it off these days. That I might not even release here. But I be doing this shit for me. Help me get through. I feel like I give until I can't, but most don't recognize it till I ain't. Blood on them covers, she hoping paint. Sorry, mama, but it ain't. This world took a toll on me, and everyone that say they love me always seem to follow me. The same one that call me great, treat me like I ain't shit. I read between the lines, it's written all over your eyes. I see the disappointment in the eyes of the ones who want me dead, but I ain't never been scared. I tried to get there. Sometimes I wonder if I survived or did I die on that ride to that hospital.